Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Chris Shule, aka the Esoteric Noetic, aka the Chocolate Nubian Sobrada from Ghana, West Africa. I give it to you live, uncensored. I'm True Blue. I'm in Melbourne, Australia, mate. I stand with Dan, Fauci, Skirmer, George Soros, Bill Gates, Joe Cross Biden. YouTube, Facebook, you don't have to worry about censoring me, because meh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I came across a headline that I found rather disturbing. This is from the Daily Mail Australia, mate. Green Party peer says all men should face 6 p.m. curfew. I don't like that. I'm a man. And I don't know. That seems a little, what's the word for it? Sexist? Baroness Jones calls for ban on males after dark to make women feel safer and less discrimination as women share their fears of violence in wake of Sarah Everard murder. Now, I don't know anything at this point in regards to the Sarah Everard murder, but it's interesting that these are the times that we're living in, that, oh, you're worried about something. I'm worried about people being offended. So people aren't allowed to say anything that might offend someone. I'm worried about, here's one, people getting sick. So now everyone has to wear a mask or get boom shakalaka. You know, it's interesting. A few years back, I would use this example of how government tyranny can get out of hand, like the kind of things the government can do, when my friends were advocating for why it's okay to restrict people from being able to arm themselves or being able to restrict any freedoms. I would say, what, do you want to live in a society where the government can essentially restrict your rights to even go out at night? I mean, how about this? What if it was proven statistically, in fact, this is the case, that the majority of crimes are committed by men that are between the ages of 18 and 24. Now the government come in and say that we're going to lock people between these ages in their homes. They're not able to go out. And I would use this as an example to show just how crazy this kind of thinking is when you appeal to potentiality, when you use the science to justify an erosion of freedoms. And strangely enough, a lot of people wouldn't see eye to eye with me. So this kind of stuff doesn't surprise me. This is where we're headed. We're in a society where essentially we're now being told that we can't even leave our homes now because we're male, because of something that happened. Now, I'm not denying that there is violence. A lot of the times, men are the perpetrators. It's a horrible thing. But are we going to start judging an entire group of people based off the actions of a few people? I mean, when we do that in regards to race, we call it racism. And when we do it in regards to sex, that's sexism. But wait. We need to protect the women. Chris Shule, I don't think you understand the consequences of what we're facing right now. Women, I don't know about you, but I love women, and I want to protect them. And I feel like the only way you can protect them is to take some cautions. We all got to make compromises. We all got to do the right thing. So don't be going out. Otherwise, you are supporting violence. See how this works, ladies and gentlemen? Men should be banned from being outdoors after 6 p.m. to make women a lot safer. After the abduction and suspected murder of Sarah Everard in London, a Green Party peer has suggested this. Baroness Jones made the comment in a discussion in the House of Lords during a debate on domestic violence. The issue of women's safety has been again thrust into the spotlight following the disappearance of 33-year-old Miss Everard as she walked home to Brixton from her friend's home in Clapton, southwest London on March 3rd. Is it me, or does this kind of justification just seem completely insane? How about this? How about something that we all love doing? How about sex? I don't know. Imagine if, God forbid, someone did something incredibly horrible during sex, like cut off a man's, you know what I'm talking about? And that has actually happened. There was a case I remember reading about many years ago. I think this was in... It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously this happens. This isn't like a weird thing where some woman chopped off a man's because she found out that he was being unfaithful. And I know a lot of women are thinking, yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, serves that man right. What you doing cheating like that on a woman? Now, one could argue because of the fact that a woman did this, women should no longer be permitted to have sex with men. How about that? Or perhaps leave their home after 6 p.m. in order to protect men. You see the kind of insanity that comes from this kind of thinking? This appeal to potentiality logic? Most people that make these arguments are working from a place of fear, not from a place of justice. Justice has respect to the natural law, natural rights, natural justice. And granted, there was a time when we seemed to respect this idea. It seems that the entire legal system, the entire governmental system is based on this foundation that it's all about risk management now. Now we can circumvent the individual rights of someone if we're scared or if we're worried and we're trying to mitigate violence. We can justify anything. And for some reason, a lot of society seems to accept this notion. I know this because I've had this conversation before. One of my closest friends a while back, not just a year or so ago, was telling me that men shouldn't be able to approach women, to talk to them on the streets because some women get offended. Now, I know a lot of people for some reason may think that this is a good idea, but here's the thing. If a woman doesn't want to be approached by a man and makes that clear, by all means, it's wrong for that man to approach the women. But for you to have some blanket statement that because of the way that one or a few women feel, that somehow I should be restricted from interacting with people that may actually want to speak to me, to make this collectivist rule for everyone. This is the problem with society. People think that because a group of people, even a majority, feel a particular way about something, it's now justified in applying that rule on everyone. That's not how justice works, ladies and gentlemen. That's not only unwise, but it is stupid, and I will say it, it's immoral. It is unequivocally immoral. It violates the fundamental morality that governs society, the law, the natural law, the fact that we are all ordained with unalienable rights. Amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not this nonsensical idea where you get to arbitrarily apply laws just because you're trying to protect a group of people. This kind of thinking is absolutely insane. This is the argument. I feel this would make women a lot safer and discrimination of all kinds would be lessened. Well, just because it's going to make some people feel safe doesn't mean you get to hurt other people. It's like, look, Christian, I feel like if you did not have a penis, that a lot more women would feel safer because you're a man and you might do something horrible with that appendage of yours. It's a rather big appendage, but it's kind of inappropriate to have something that big. You could use it as a weapon. This kind of thinking is just so ridiculous, but it shouldn't surprise anyone because this is the world that we're in at the moment. A world that says, oh, we're going to circumvent your right to freely walk down the street. Unless, of course, you mask up. Unless, of course, you get boom shakalaka. This is where we're at. Baroness Jones added later on Twitter, her solution was better than the Met telling women to stay indoors, following reports of officers cautioning women to be careful. No, here's the thing. If you're worried about what might happen in the real world, stay at home. Stay at home. Don't enforce your fears on everyone else. Or rather, don't force people to sacrifice their freedom because you're worried about something that might happen. I shouldn't even need to say that, but that's where we're at. If you're worried about getting sick, stay at home. If you're worried about being accosted by some man, stay at home. What's the tagline that we were saying last year? Stay the fuck at home. But for different reasons. Do it for yourself, but don't do it out of some sense of virtue that you're trying to help everyone else. If you want to stay at home because you're trying to avoid getting some virus, by all means, do so. But don't force everyone else to stay at home because you're worried about getting sick. Similarly, if you're worried about being accosted by some man, don't force every man to stay in their home. What kind of sick, demented thinking is this? The fact that I even need to say that. But this is the insanity within this democratic system. People actually go up and argue about how they should force to be violent, violate people, violate their rights, and then people vote on it. What should be happening is as soon as someone suggests something like this, incites people to create laws that actually bring this stuff about, what we should be doing if we were a truly just society is we should be laughing that person off of the stage. In fact, I would argue you should be suing them for incentivizing violence, at least. You should be taking actions to prevent these people from bringing about tyranny in this world. But for some reason, we adore people like this. Oh, isn't she an amazing woman? Oh, she cares so much about all the other women that she wants to lock all the men in their homes. So Metropolitan Police Commissioner Cressida Dick confirmed human remains have been found in the week-long search for 33-year-old marketing executive Sarah Everard. Now look, no doubt, absolutely a terrible thing what happened to Sarah Everard. But because of one tragedy, it shouldn't mean that we circumvent rights, laws. I mean, this has always been the precedent for more and more tyranny. It's like something bad happens, therefore we got to take actions. We can't do nothing. So people think it's somehow justified now to do more evil. Two wrongs don't make a right. There are steps that we can take, obviously, if we want to avoid this stuff from happening. That doesn't require the circumventing of people's rights. Education, awareness. But as soon as you want to force people that have done nothing wrong, an entire group of people, I mean, these are the seeds of, this is the real evil of discrimination. Not the discrimination that says, oh, I don't want to allow you into my store because I don't trust that you're safe, or I don't like the color of your skin. That's gross. But real discrimination is forcing people to stay at home, forcing people to get boom shakalakid, forcing people to mask up, forcing people based off of choices they make or their race, their sex. To sacrifice their freedoms because you're scared of what might happen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that a lot of people are in favor of this. I've been reading some tweets, and this is the world that we're in. And the only way this is going to end, ladies and gentlemen, is through education. People speaking out about this, people showing how they truly feel, not whimpering because they don't want to be politically incorrect. The only other alternative is for direct action. If I live in a society where I'm not able to walk down the street past 6 p.m. because I'm a man, or for any other reason for that matter, because someone is scared, and there are police officers that have been empowered by the people to lock me up, well, the only alternative is, other than me trying to talk them down, is to use physical force. Because I'm telling you, you're not going to keep me locked up in a cage because some people are worried about things. And look, this issue, the issue of violence towards people, period, it's not just a male or woman issue. This is an issue that's ubiquitous. And I would imagine that there's probably more of this violence because of the current circumstances that we find ourselves in. A lot of people have more mental illnesses because of these lockdowns. And it's interesting that this all stems from an erosion of people's rights. It's almost as if more tyranny leads to more violence. And the solution is more tyranny. This is the solution in the eyes of many of these statists, many of these people that do not believe in natural justice. We need to seriously have this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. and educate people that what they're doing is utterly immoral and should not be tolerated within a free society. Until next time, peace out, keep it real, don't drive and text. This is the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother. Be sure to check out the Telegram group if you want to stay up to date with what's going on. Just want to get involved in these cool conversations with a like-minded community that believes in freedom. Freedom not just for your friends, not for the women, not just for the women or the men or the black people, but for everybody, all beings, all of God's children. Until next time, boom shagalaka. Ow!
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.